All right. So head on over to your mat and we're going to get started in supported fish. Again, like I said, props are optional, so we can be a little creative if you don't have blocks. You can get into fish with a nice thick blanket or a towel if you have one nearby, or if you'd like to start in a comfortable seat, that's also available to you as well. So if you do have yoga blocks and you want to get into that supported fish pose, just put one of your blocks on the medium height and then one on the low height, kind of making the T shape. And this higher block will go behind your head and the lower block will go behind your upper back. If you don't have blocks, you can grab, you can always fold up like a nice thick blanket or towel to just stick underneath your back, and maybe a pillow underneath your head so you're not all the way back. So just get a little creative. The goal here is we want to just start to open up the front body. And so however you can get into that in your space with your props, feel free. So I'm going to come to my side and then roll to my back, just keeping some stability in the abdominal wall. And the low block should just fall just right behind the rib cage. And so play around with where that falls, get comfy. If you're having any low back challenges or discomfort, you may want to keep your knees bent here, or you can straighten and extend the legs out. Wherever you are, start to untuck the tailbone and kind of send the tailbone down towards your feet. Yeah, and so really want to broaden the sacrum here. And start to settle in. Start to ground down, get connected. If you're in a comfortable seat, feeling the ground beneath your sitting bones and any areas of your body that are making contact with the earth beneath you. As we start our practice, just beginning to settle into our body, observing how we are showing up this evening. And starting to tap into the breath. Your arms can come to your side effortlessly, maybe bringing them out to a T to open up a little bit more. Or if you'd like, maybe bringing hands to your baby space. And starting to increase and lengthen the time of your in-breath through your nose. And extend the out-breath through the nose. Gently sealing the lips and starting to cultivate Ujjayi Pranayama, sifting the breath past the back of the throat, creating that ocean wave-like sound, getting nice and audible with the breath. And as you inhale, imagine sending that breath down to your baby space, filling up the belly, and then filling up the chest, the rib cage, opening the shoulders, broadening the collarbone. And as you exhale, emptying from the top down, so releasing, relaxing the chest, and then softening the belly. Inhale, filling up. And exhale, softening. And as you exhale, hugging around baby, starting to pull belly button, your navel to spine. Inhale. Let's take 3 more breaths here, just settling in. One more breath here. Good. Keeping the eyes closed. If you are in the supported fish posture, just bringing the left arm above your head, extending it overhead, stretching tall, and then slowly rolling to the left side of your body, pausing here for a breath, keeping the eyes closed. As we practice today, if you notice the mind is going elsewhere or focusing on anything else outside of your mat, just remember to return to the breath as we practice today. And slowly just bringing the hands down next to you, pushing up, and we're going to meet in a tabletop position, so hands and knees. You can just swing the legs behind you, move the blocks, maybe bringing them up to the top of your mat. And as you arrive here in tabletop, just starting to really ground down the fingertips and the palms of the hand, ground down in the front of the legs, the shins. So almost like if you were to press up, you could kind of hover. So really pressing the tops of the feet and the shins into the mat, spreading fingertips wide, stacking shoulders over the wrists and hips over the knees. Good, and start to hug around baby. So continuing our core conscious breath with every exhale, hugging around baby with the abdominal wall, bringing navel to spine. Let's start to move a little bit. So on the next inhale, lift your hips, your heart, your head, come into your cow tilt. Filling up the front body, and then exhale, cat tilt, tucking the tailbone, chin to chest, rounding the spine. Inhale, cow tilt. Exhale, cat tilt. Inhale, cow tilt. Exhale, cat tilt. Keep moving with your breath, the pace of your breath, carrying in breath with cow and out breath with the cat. And imagine initiating the movement here from the pelvis and just starting to create that wave-like shape with the spine. So the last thing to fall into the posture is the crown of the head. So kind of creating that undulating shape with the spine. Cow and cat are just ultimate prenatal postures and helps continue to keep the core stable and strengthens the core as we pair with our breath. You can relieve hip and low back pain and pelvic pain. Continue moving here. Inhale, cow tilt. Maybe bending the elbows if you need. Exhale, cat tilt. Continuing to claw the fingertips into the mat. And then you can start to introduce a different dimension of movement. So starting to circle the hips, continuing to move through the cow and cat shapes, but moving right hip to the right side, right side of the head to the right as you circle around. Make those small hip circles, or you can make them a little bit bigger, just kind of coming forward on the hands and sitting back towards the heels. And so starting to tap into what your body needs in this moment, what your baby is calling for. Taking one more circle in this direction, and then switching to the opposite. Aware that you're breathing in, and aware that you're breathing out. Starting to tap into that flow state as we pair the breath with movement, moving intuitively. Coming to hands and knees is not only a great prenatal posture, but can come into this during labor, during childbirth. One more breath here. And then coming back to a neutral spine, tucking the toes behind you, we're gonna come up into our first downward facing dog. So lifting the tailbone towards the sky. Again, keeping fingers spread nice and wide, clawing the fingertips into the mat, grounding the heels as much as you can. You can keep the knees as bent as you need, especially for this first down dog of our practice, maybe feeling a little bit tight in the back of the legs. You can pedal out the heels. Maybe shifting the hips from side to side. And continuing to press the hands into the mat, so keeping the shoulders stable, not coming forward too much in the shoulders, but really pressing the floor away from you to keep the shoulder joints stable. And lifting that tailbone up towards the sky. Untucking the tailbone, broadening the sacrum. And creating more surface area on the sacrum, the back of the pelvis. And breathing. As always, you can come to this posture with hands on blocks if you're having any acid reflux or any indigestion, keeping the chest a little bit more elevated. And let's start to walk the hands back towards the feet, coming into your forward fold, your fit. So feet may be a little bit wider than hips width apart, depending on how far along you are in your pregnancy, how much baby has grown. You may want to keep your hands kind of forward, hands to the mat or to blocks, keeping down dog arms here. So finding your fit, and that may change week to week, day to day. Wherever you are, untucking the tailbone still, lifting it up towards the ceiling. And maybe dropping the head, shaking the head yes and no. Feeling the benefits of being inverted in this gentle inversion, allowing the spine to decompress from the weight of the head. One more breath here. All right, on the next inhale, halfway lift, hands can come to the shins. Exhale, hands come to hips, hug around baby. Inhale to rise up to standing. And to exhale, hands to your baby space. Firm your thighs, ground down in your feet. Let's take 3 breaths here. Maybe closing the eyes. And as you exhale, hugging around baby. Toning the pelvic floor, lifting up. All right, from here, blink the eyes open if they aren't already. We're gonna do some side bends. So hook your thumbs, kind of making a W shape. And on the inhale, stretching, extending up nice and tall. And as you exhale, side bend to the right. Keeping that left heel just as grounded as the right. Feeling the stretch from the left underarm all the way down to the left hip. Hugging around baby. One more breath. And coming back to center. Inhale, circle the arms down, around, and up overhead. And exhale, hands come to prayer seal, down to heart center. Other side. Hook your thumbs, opposite thumb on top this time. So whatever one doesn't feel as natural to you. Inhale, extend your arms overhead. And as you exhale, side bend to the left. Again, hugging around baby, navel to spine, keeping both heels equally grounded. And with each exhale, maybe bending just a little bit more, creating all that good space in the side body. And release, coming back to center, releasing the hands, maybe shaking out the wrists. All right, spreading feet out to the width of your mat, toes turn out. Inhale, circle the arms down, around, and up overhead. And as you exhale, coming down to Malasana. If you're having any pubic symphysis pain or pelvic pain, you may want to stay up here, or you can come all the way down to Malasana, full Malasana with elbows making contact with the legs, legs with the elbows. So pressing the elbows into the legs to broaden and open up the chest. Yeah. As always, you can sit on a block here or a thick blanket for supportive Malasana, relieving any pelvic pressure, pelvic floor pressure that you may be having. This is a great place to practice that core conscious breath. And as you inhale, softening and relaxing the pelvic floor. And as you exhale, toning the pelvic floor in and up. One more breath here. All right, walk the hands out, downward facing dog. Aware that you're breathing in and aware that you're breathing out. Inhale, looking forward, and as you exhale, dropping the knees, finding your way back to tabletop. Again, hugging around baby, shoulders stacked over wrists, hips stacked over knees. We're gonna come into sunbird. So extending the right foot to the back of the mat, so tucking the toes under. Before we lift, let's just take a moment to rock back and forth here. Taking a moment to open up the back of the leg. Maybe feeling some sensations in the ankle or some cracks and pops here. And then find stillness. Stacking shoulders over wrists once again. When you're ready, extending the left arm forward. And then if you'd like, lifting that right leg up. So opposite leg, opposite arm. Reaching the left fingertips and the right heel in opposite directions. Finding a nice line of energy all the way through your body. Hugging around baby, strong belly, strong back. Hugging inner thighs in towards the midline. One more breath here, pressing the right hand into the mat, pressing away. And release, bringing that right hand down, Left foot can come back to the mat, keeping it extended. We're gonna open up to the right side of the mat. So ground that left hand down, and then open up the right arm, extending it overhead, coming into a side plank. Grounding that right foot. And that top arm can stay extended overhead, maybe bringing the arm to the ear, or maybe right hand to right hip. You are the decider here. And as always, if you want to move on a little bit from here, you can hug around maybe and lift that right leg. Always options here. Wherever you are, finding stillness, finding the breath. One more breath here. Good, if that foot is lifted, bring it back down. We're gonna come up, so lifting the chest, turn that right foot out to the side and bring the left foot kind of underneath of you and have a seat on that left foot. Yeah, I'm gonna turn around just to face you all. Yeah, just like this. Just kind of having that wide stance, grounding that right hand down and then opening up the left arm towards the sky. Yeah, finding that nice opening, the side body, feeling some opening in the inner thighs here. All right, from here, we're gonna be going into a bit of a flow. So we're gonna go back to that side plank and then come back to the shape. So we'll start off slow and then we'll move with the breath. So you can bring that left hand down, bringing it out back to that side plank posture. So right hand extended overhead, left hand grounded down. Taking a breath here. All right, inhale. Exhale, coming back to that shape. So just bending the knees, coming back. And as you inhale, opening up. So let's move with the breath here. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, coming back to side plank. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, moving, flowing. Inhale, lifting the left arm. Exhale, rainbow the hand over, back to side plank. Exhale, sitting back. And inhale, coming up. Exhale. Inhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. We're going to move one more time each way. Exhale. Inhale, extending overhead. Exhale, coming back to the front of the mat. Last time. And on this inhale, stay nice and open. As you exhale, just bring both hands to the front of the mat. I'm going to switch around so I can get back to the front of my mat, coming to tabletop. Taking a moment to wag your tail before we go into the other side. All right. When you're ready, extending the left leg towards the back of the mat, tucking the toes under, taking a moment to rock back and forth here. And when you're ready, finding stillness, shoulders stacked over wrists, fingertips spread wide. Extending the right arm forward this time, so opposite arm, opposite leg. You can keep that foot grounded or let it fly, hugging around baby, strong belly, strong back, strong mama. Aware that you're breathing in and aware that you're breathing out. One more breath. And then let the hand come back to the mat, keeping that leg extended, but bringing the toes down to the mat. And this time opening up to the left side of the mat, left side plank. Same options as the other side. You can keep that foot grounded here, or you can hug around baby and extend it towards the wall. Extending the foot towards the wall, lifting. And then your arm can be at the hip, overhead, or left arm towards the left ear. Gaze is up, down, or out. Trying to extend, if your arm is overhead, just finding some more opening and some good space in the side body here. If that leg is lifted, bringing it back down to the mat, and cartwheeling the hands to come up, and then we're going to go into that flow on the other side. So bending the knee, the left knee, and sitting down on the right heel. Left arm down, right hand overhead. Pressing that left arm into left leg into left arm, so you can peel open the chest towards the sky. Taking a couple of breaths here before we get into that flow. All right, let's start to move. So inhale to prepare. And as you exhale, plant that right hand down, open up, side plank. Taking a breath here. Inhale. And as you exhale, coming back to that bent knee and opening up as you inhale, right hand overhead. All right, let's move. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, coming back to that side plank shape. Inhale, extending the arm. Exhale, bending the knee. And as you inhale, right arm overhead. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Moving with your breath here, starting to, again, cultivate that wave-like breath and moving like water here, flowing with the breath. On each inhale, expanding the chest open and moving to the new shape on the exhale. One more each way. Good, and then let's meet in a tabletop. And start to wag the tail. And then when you're ready, tucking the toes under, lifting the hips, downward facing dog. Maybe feeling a bit more open in the back body here. Lifting the tailbone towards the sky, pressing, clawing the fingertips into the mat. And start to walk the hands to the back of the mat, finding your forward fold, your fit. Again, knees can be bent here, can keep the hands out to blocks or ahead of you on the mat, keeping the chest lifted. Or just surrender here and fold forward, letting the neck release and soften. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come to the shins. Exhale, hands to hips, hug around baby. Inhale, rising up. And exhale, bringing hands to your baby space, grounding down through the heels and the feet. 3 breaths here. As you exhale, hugging around baby, toning the pelvic floor. When you're ready, blinking the eyes open, we're gonna come into our chair squats. So if you have a block, grab it. If you don't have a block, you can grab, again, like a thick blanket or towel, something that you can place in between the thighs, that you can squeeze in between the thighs. So grabbing whatever you can, or not, you can always just make that motion without a prop if need be. All right, so coming to feet at about hips width distance, and squeezing the block, the blanket, whatever you have in between the thighs. I have mine on the narrowest height, depending on your body, maybe that medium height is better. So play around, but you want to keep the feet at about hips width distance. And we're going to be moving into our chair squats, pairing with the breath and squeezing in around the block. So on the in breath, we're going to be sitting back, and then on the out breath, coming up. And so on the in breath, our lungs expand, our diaphragm relaxes, and our pelvic floor moves in concert with the diaphragm. So when we inhale, we really want to relax the pelvic floor, and then when we inhale, toning the pelvic floor in and up, activating Mula Bandha. So let's go, taking a breath to prepare. All right, inhale, sitting back, chair pose, squeezing that block. Exhale, coming up, toning the pelvic floor in and up. Inhale, sit back. Exhale, coming back up. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, squeeze that block. Exhale. 1 more, inhale. And exhale. Good. We're gonna do a few more. You can keep the block here if that feels good. If you're having pubic bone, pubic symphysis pain, squeezing in is going to feel a little bit better. But if you're having any SI joint pain, low back pain, grab a strap or a scarf, dog leash, really anything that you can tie around the thighs, the outer thighs. And we want to put the strap at about hips width distance. And again, no worries if you don't have these props, but something that you can do on your own time, just any belt, dog leash, anything that you can squeeze around the outer thighs. This time we're going to be focusing on pushing out with the thighs to relieve and broaden the sacrum to relieve some of that low back pain. See which one you prefer. We'll go ahead and do our chair squats here. So inhale, sitting back in your chair. Exhale, coming up, pushing the thighs out, out, out. Inhale. Exhale, hug around baby, thighs out. Inhale. Exhale, grounding down those heels. Inhale. Exhale, 3 more here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. All right. Remove the strap, remove the block, whatever you have. And then meet at the back of your mat, feet to the width of your mat, turning the toes out. As you inhale, circle the arms down, around, and up. And as you exhale, hands through heart center, coming down Malasana, either staying up or coming into that full Malasana. Thumbs into the chest and chest into thumbs, lifting the heart. Outer edges of the feet are grounded down here. 2 breaths. All right, walk the hands out, finding downward facing dog. Aware that you're breathing in and aware that you're breathing out. All right. Looking forward at the hands, move the right thumb to meet the left. And then you can bring that right foot forward to the right side of your mat, hands inside the foot. Just pause here for a moment in this lunge shape. Feeling the strength here. And then when you're ready, grounding that back foot at a 45-degree angle and walking the hands up the thighs, meeting in warrior 1. So arms can extend overhead, shoulders away from the ears here. Outer edge of that back foot is grounded. And if the feet aren't in line, sometimes in yoga we tend to have the feet in line. It's okay if that front foot is a little skewed to the right here, and it's more on a diagonal. Right hip crease back and left hip crease forward. Finding strength here, firming the thighs, grounding down in the feet. All right. You can bring the arms behind you. If you can, interlace the fingers behind you, or maybe grabbing opposite elbows, whatever is accessible. Maybe grabbing that strap or a scarf to hold on to. As you inhale, puff up the chest, maybe give a little baby back bend. And as you exhale, folding forward, coming into humble warrior. So belly and bump can come to the inside of that right leg. And we want to keep the chest open here. So scrunch up the shoulder blades behind you. And maybe if you can keep the balance, if you feel comfortable, maybe looking towards that back foot. Finding strength here, firming the thighs and really rooting down in the feet, pressing the feet away from the mat. One more breath here. All right, bringing the hands to the inside of the right foot, we're going to turn towards the left side of the mat, coming into Skandasana, that side lunge. Now you can stay up high if you're feeling any groin or pelvic pain or discomfort, or you can come down low here. Yeah, right knee bent, left knee extended and straight. And you can bring the arms out in front of you if that feels nice. Staying here for just a moment. And then we're going to walk the hands towards the left, switching to the other side. Back to the other side, using the hands for support here. And then walk the hands to the middle, and then just start to roll up to stand. All right, so we can turn the toes out. We're gonna come into our goddess squat here. So keeping the feet nice and wide, when we bend, we want knees stacked over the ankles, just about, and bring your hands to your thighs to start out, thumbs forward. Taking a moment to sway back and forth here if that feels appropriate for you. And maybe even bringing the hands in close, if you can keep the elbows straight, and pressing the hands into the thighs away, kind of creating some traction. It can feel nice on the low back. Maybe taking a moment to alternate shoulders towards the earth, giving a nice gentle spinal twist. Feeling the strength here, your thighs and your pelvic, just everything kind of getting a little fired up here. All right, and then let's lift the chest. We're gonna do a couple of lion's breath. So in that nice bend in the knee, inhale, arms come forward, extend them overhead. And as you exhale, tongue out, nice and loud exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more, just like that. Inhale. Last one, inhale. Good, straighten the legs. Maybe shake the hips side to side and turn the 10 toes forward so they're parallel to one another, coming into this wide angle shape. If you would like blocks nearby, maybe grab the blocks. I like to have them in front of me during this shape. And then when you're ready, bringing the hands to the hips, and we're gonna start to fold forward. So coming to maybe like a halfway fold, bending the knees if you need, and pausing here. So just like in our down dog shape, we wanna untuck the tailbone, and we wanna come forward with chest and baby leading. So if I turn to the side here, we don't wanna fold forward and round to the back. We wanna keep the chest and baby coming forward, keeping it nice and expansive. And then you can bring the hands forward, maybe to the floor in front of you or to the blocks. Yeah, maybe drop the head to look back if that feels good. You can keep the knees bent or maybe start to straighten them. Feeling the expansiveness in the chest as you come forward. Couple of options here. I'll just run through them and then you can have about 10 breaths just to do some exploration. You can keep the hands forward in those down dog arms, maybe walking them in towards center to fold a little bit deeper. You can bring a block for under the head. It can feel really lovely. Nice little support there. Maybe you want to ground one hand to the floor or to a block and then Extend the other overhead for a nice spinal twist, and alternating sides. Or maybe walking both hands to one foot and then the other. So lots of options here. Feel free to explore. We'll be doing this on both sides. So maybe picking one on this side and then going into another variation on the other. Taking the time to listen and tune in to what your body, your baby is calling for in this moment. Aware that you're breathing in and aware that you're breathing out. Take about 3 more breaths wherever you are, exploring or maybe coming back to stillness. Wherever you are, start to walk the hands towards the top of the mat. Coming into that lunge shape, and we're going to meet in downward facing dog. So maybe you want to drop that left knee and come into tabletop first, or you can just go right there. Taking 2 deep inhales and 2 deep exhales here. As you're ready, start to shift your gaze to your hands and move that left thumb to meet the right, making space on the left side of your hands for that left foot. All right, taking a moment to settle here. And when you're ready, grounding that back foot at a 45-degree angle, walking the hands up the thighs and meeting in warrior one. Right hip crease forward, left hip crease back. Outer edge of that left foot is grounded down. Shoulders away from the ears. Relaxing the muscles in the face. Maybe allowing a soft smile to come to your lips. All right, bringing the arms behind you again, grabbing opposite elbows or interlacing fingers. As you inhale, take a baby back bend, keeping eyes open. And as you exhale, coming forward, humble warrior. So making space for the baby, the inside of the left leg. Same options as the other side. You can look down at the mat, or maybe if balance allows, you can shift the gaze to the back foot. The hands are interlaced. We want to continue to open up the chest, so really keeping the back nice and wrinkly, bringing shoulder blades toward one another. Rooting down in the feet, pressing the feet into the mat, keeping that strength. One more breath. And then bringing the hands down to meet at the front of your mat, turning towards the right side to come into Skandasana. Again, we can stay lifted or we can come down low, maybe extending the arms forward here. Start to walk the hands toward the right foot, switching to the opposite side. And again, if there's any pelvic pain or pain in the discomfort in the groin, you can just stay lifted here. All right, start to walk back to the left. And then slowly start to walk the hands towards center and then roll up to stand. The crown of the head is the last thing to fall into place. Rolling up vertebra by vertebra. All right, I'm gonna turn, so my back is not to y'all, but same thing as the other side. We're gonna turn the toes out, come to that wide stance, goddess squat. Bring the hands to the thighs, taking a moment to maybe shift back and forth here. Again, maybe applying some pressure in towards the hip creases to give some traction here. Maybe relieving some low back discomfort. Making more space for baby, allowing the rib cage to come up and out of the torso, lifting the chest. And let's come into our lion's breath. So lifting the chest here, nice deep bend in the knees. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, sigh it out. Get nice and loud. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Feel the strength. Exhale. Beautiful. Straighten the knees. Turn the toes forward. Coming feet parallel. And again, if you want to have those blocks nearby for that wide angle forward bend, feel free. Bring hands to hips. Maybe a soft bend in the knees and coming to that halfway fold. Leading with baby and chest here. Again, we want to untuck the tailbone, broad sacrum. And then when you're ready, start to walk the hands forward, letting the chest come forward. Baby leads. You can keep the hands to blocks or to the floor in front of you. Maybe starting to straighten the knees if that feels appropriate. Sending tailbone back and hands forward, making all that good space in the torso. And then take some time to explore here. So just like the other side, maybe choosing the same option or a different one. Again, you can come into those nice spinal twists, maybe bringing the block under the head, walking hands to opposite feet. So taking the time to listen in, tune in to what your body, your baby need in this moment. Taking about 2 more breaths. And then wherever you are, coming back to center and starting to slowly roll up. Bringing feet together, or about hips width distance. And we're gonna come into mountain pose. Taking a moment to just reset here. So maybe bringing the hands to your baby space or keeping palms forward. Taking a moment to close the eyes or bring the eyes to a soft gaze somewhere other than the screen. And just taking a moment to connect to baby, maybe sending a message of love and gratitude. I am an unlimited being, receiving from an unlimited source. And I am deeply, profoundly connected to this growing life inside of me. As you're ready, slowly blink the eyes open. We're going to come into our tree pose. So if you're near a wall, you can definitely utilize the wall for support if you'd like. We're going to start with the left foot grounded and right foot up. So bringing the right heel into the, making a kickstand with the right foot. You can stay here, or you can start to bring the foot up towards the calf or thigh, above or below the knee joint. Grounding, rooting down in that left foot. Finding an unmoving point of focus, drishti, hugging around baby. And you can let your branches grow, maybe arms come overhead or to heart center. Taking one more breath here. And then slowly start to bring that right foot back down to the ground. Maybe pedaling the heels or wagging the tail, letting the hips move side to side before going into our other side. And so this time grounding down in that right foot, again, making a kickstand with the left and then staying here, or allowing the foot to come up the length of the leg, avoiding the knee joint. And knowing that each side may be different. I know this side for me seems that my foot just tends to like to stay lower, and that's okay. Noticing any wobbles and difficulties are just a part of showing up to this practice and noticing where you are, observing where you are without judgment. Meeting yourself with gentleness and grace. Taking one more breath here. And then as you're ready, starting to bring that left foot back down to the earth, pedaling out the feet, whatever movements necessary, maybe quick ankle roll or two. And then we're going to meet at the back of the mat for our final malasana of practice. We're going to stay down. stay down on the mat to kind of wind down for this evening. So inhale, circle the arms down, around, and up. Toes are turned out, feet wide. And as you exhale, coming down into your Malasana this evening. One more breath here. And then start to walk the hands forward. And we're going to be heading into pigeon. So a couple of ways that we can get into pigeon. Can get there from hands and knees or go up into downward facing dog to kind of get a little leverage to bring that foot forward. If you'd like, I always like to have a blanket nearby to place under the hips. So if you want to grab that before you go into your pigeon shape or any blocks or bolsters that you may like. All right, so if you're coming from downward facing dog, you can lift that right foot if you like, a three-legged dog, shift the gaze forward, and try to bring that right shin as parallel as you can with the front of the mat. Getting yourself settled, looking back, checking your alignment to make sure the back foot is just straight in line with the back leg, so not turned in or out. At about this time, I like to put that blanket or a block underneath the right hip to kind of close any gap between the hip and the floor. And you can stay lifted, or you can start to bring the chest forward, making space for baby. Maybe bringing the forehead to stacked hands, or a pillow or bolster, a blanket. And just settling in here. If pigeon seems to be too much or you're experiencing any pubic symphysis, pelvic pain, discomfort here, you can always come into a supine figure 4 position on the back to target the hip flexor, that hip opening. And so if anyone has experienced that, I'll just show you what that would look like. Coming down to the back. You can bend the right knee. You can stay here or hugging the left leg in for that supine figure 4. So this can feel a little bit more gentle, not as intense as pigeon. Wherever you are, taking one more breath. If you're lying forward, just lifting the chest. And then we're gonna roll towards the left side. So that right knee is still bent, left leg extended out. You can face the long edge of your mat. We're just gonna take a moment to come into revolved head to knee. So reaching the left hand towards the left foot, and then rainbow, cartwheel the arm over, feeling that nice side bend. Couple of options here. You can stay here, maybe bringing the hand behind the head to cradle the neck, sometimes a block behind the knee to place the elbow upon. It feels really nice. Wherever you are, take one more breath. Keeping the right hip grounded. And then start to come up, bringing the hands back to the front of the mat, finding your way into downward facing dog or that tabletop position to get ready for pigeon on the left. So if you're coming from downward facing dog, maybe coming into a nice three-legged dog for a moment, shifting the gaze forward, left knee forward, left shin as parallel as you can with the front of the mat. Again, bringing a blanket or a block underneath that left hip if that feels good. Right hip crease forward, left hip crease back. And that left ankle is nice and relaxed. Sometimes it can get a little stuck in a funky position here in Kajin. And then as you're ready, if you choose, you can start to come forward, maybe to a bolster or pillow, blanket, or maybe bringing the forehead to stacked hands. Finding stillness wherever you are. Starting to downshift as we come to the end of our practice this evening. Allowing the heart rate to come down and breath start to return to its normal, natural cadence. One more breath here. And start to lift the chest, and then turn to open up towards the right side of the mat. Right leg extended out and left knee bent. I'm just going to turn to face y'all. And revolve head to knee. So same as the other side, reaching towards that right foot. Again, if you'd like that block behind the knee to drop the elbow, it's a great choice here. But feeling the opening in the side body here, paired with a little bit of a hamstring stretch. Keeping the sitting bones grounded evenly. So if you start to feel that left hip creep up, just maybe lessen the bend. And then slowly start to come up. We're gonna head down into our final resting pose. Let me check our time. Right, so we are gonna go a few minutes over. So I definitely invite you to stay as long as you can for rest, whether you log off and do rest on your own. But I do wanna let you know that, that we will go a few minutes over. So if anyone needs to go, feel free. Coming down to our final resting pose, a couple of options. If you're by a wall, maybe you'd like to come to legs up the wall, making that L shape with the legs, the back of the legs in contact with the wall, and the sitting bones up towards where the wall and the floor meet. You can come down to a left side lie. So if you're coming down to your back in general, we always want to come to the left side first. And then you can roll to the back if you need to, but a left side lie, maybe bringing a pillow or blocks in between the knees and the ankle, maybe a blanket underneath the head here. And then I'll also show just a reclined position. So most of us are kind of at least halfway or close to halfway through the pregnancy, so may not be as comfortable to lie just on our backs anymore. So we can make a nice incline with props if we have them. Oops. So bringing the blocks to uneven heights and making a nice recline with a bolster or a nice cushion. And then coming into reclined position, maybe knees out in Supta Baddha Konasana, feet together, knees wide, or maybe bringing knees in, feet wide. So wherever you are, finding stillness in our final rest, drinking in all of the benefits from our practice this evening as we slow down the breath. Coming into stillness and allowing ourselves the time to do nothing. Continue to stay in your resting posture as I read our goddess card that was pulled from the deck this evening. The goddess is Athena, the powerful and wise Grecian goddess who oversees and protects those who call upon her. She's the daughter of Zeus, and her power animals are white owls and black pigeons. And although she is a warrior goddess, she does battle with wits instead of weapons. You can call upon her for resolving disputes and also for protection. A message from Athena. I'm happy to assist you. However, you'll be most thrilled when you first consult your own inner bank of knowledge. For I assure you that this situation is already resolved and that you have access to all the wisdom that the universe supplies. To access this wisdom, you must quiet your mind. Surrender all worries and other concerns to the loving and almighty power of the universe. Close your eyes and note the thoughts and feelings that come streaming into your consciousness. If you like, you can ask me to give you a signal that you've heard your inner wisdom correctly. But have faith. I assure you that you have heard and that the guidance brings you and your loved ones very good news indeed. You know what to do. Trust your inner wisdom and take appropriate action without delay. Begin to bring your awareness back into your body, the space around you, as you begin to reintroduce gentle movements to your fingers and toes. Wherever you are, taking the time to come to the left side of your body, pausing for a moment, taking as much time as you need, and we'll meet in a comfortable seat with eyes closed and hands at your baby space. Taking a moment at the end of our practice this evening to call upon gratitude and for each other for holding this virtual space on this cozy Thursday evening. Gratitude for yourself, your body, your strong body, your growing baby. Gratitude for giving yourself this gift of time to nourish the body, mind, and spirit and connection to baby. And I offer gratitude to you all for allowing me to guide you through practice this evening. Taking a big inhale, circling the arms down, around, and up. Bringing hands together as you exhale to your third eye center. Keep peace in your mind, strength in your body, and love in your heart. Until next time, be well. Thank you all for joining on this Thursday evening. I'm going to stop recording.